Are we reaching the bottom of Bitcoin? It is ironic, okay? They think it's some sort of conspiracy that some unforeseen scammers are holding up the price of Bitcoin just before this thing's going to collapse to zero, Willy Woo said. Bitcoin has fallen by 76% during this brutal bear market phase. While the recent price volatility has subsided, do not expect institutions to return to crypto markets with vigor just yet. These large-scale investors have been alarmed by recent volatility, which is difficult to predict and may cause their investments to plummet. Bitcoin support has already fallen about 13% over the past weeks amid the unraveling of the crypto exchange FTX. This latest twist is odd, considering investors' previous concerns about a lack of volatility that has plagued markets for months. For today's video, we will be discussing the negative news flow that continues to make headlines about Bitcoin with Willy Woo. Adverse media streams continue to dominate headlines, but Bitcoin's recent move about $17,000 suggests investors are finding reasons to be bullish. Bitcoin and crypto on-chain analyst Willy Woo has predicted that the bottom of the current Bitcoin bear market is close, given the share of the Bitcoin supply that is considered underwater. Using his so-called Max Payne model, who said on Twitter that a macro cycle bottom for Bitcoin historically has been seen when 58 to 61% of the Bitcoin supply is underwater or held by investors sitting on an unrealized loss. Woo acknowledged that the price still could fall further, staying in the upper part of the shaded area of his model at $13,000 and rising quickly. Clients have recently stepped in to support Bitcoin lowering its volatility and putting it in a sideways trend. Woo says Bitcoin is showing resilience in the face of market crosswinds, including crypto lending firm BlockFi's recent bankruptcy filing. Let's hear from
Really
Mr.
interesting with the BlockFi bankruptcy, we saw a sort of pullback. It went down beforehand. I kind of think that was sort of inside sellers knowing that that announcement would happen. It went down, what is it? $500, something like that. And it got quickly absorbed. And then now we're breaking to the upside. So I think we've got a lot of buyers at this price. Certainly the indicators I have are showing, when you see a lot of coins moving and sideways, that's a sure sign of accumulation. So that's been happening. I'm tracking it. That's the reason why it's going sideways. Particularly one I was looking at was really supply that's underwater. Every single cycle, there's a trend line that's it trends downwards, and when that trend line breaks to the upside, always happen in the middle of an accumulation zone, and it broke in that sideways before the FTX sort of debacle. And so actually that's my view, is that we were setting up for a decent accumulation phase. We're building that multiple month accumulation bottom, and then wham, we had another round of deleveraging, but accumulation's still happening. So yeah, I agree. We are in the highish, not the highish, but let's say mid, between the
23 to 24, 25, somewhere in there. I think.
Yeah, I think we were setting up for like 18 to 24 sort of sideways band for a few more months. And then we had the deleveraging happen. So we're now continuing that in the 16 to 18 band now. But I agree. There's this sort of pencil sketch chart that I've posted a few times. This is actually a complete of the density. You can think of this as like a volume profile for the traders out there. Where you get dense lines, that's where a lot of coins have last traded at that value, right? So it's kind of like a volume profile, but it's a profile of how many coins traded at that price out of the whole Bitcoin supply. And I cropped it off at down to here, which is like there's another 28% of the coins that traded below that price here. So effectively, I'm looking at there's a particular contour that hits all of these price bottoms, right? And that's the contour of how much of the supply is underwater. Obviously, if you buy here, as the price goes under, you're part of the losing squad until it hits a point where it doesn't go any further. That's your max pain. And this is it charting as we go through 100% of people in profit at the 70,000 top, and as the price starts trading down, we cut through all these contours, and now we're currently at about 45% of the supply is underwater. And actually, what I was saying is, you can draw this trend line. Actually, I can't draw on this chart.
While Bitcoin's dominance is nowhere near the levels before 2017, its market cap still accounts for roughly 38% of the entire cryptocurrency complex. Willy Woo also spoke on the potential Bitcoin bottom and what his charts are showing to predict that as far as what price Bitcoin could potentially bottom out at. The analyst is interested in a price range of $14,000 and $10,000, which he previously disclosed to be a component of a max pain model. $12,000 wouldn't shock Willy. $12,000 or $13,000 may run away from here, or it may drop even further. Although these are very general indicators, it is probably not a bad idea to dollar cost average at this time. What do you think of Willy Woo's interview? Do you agree that Bitcoin could go to $10,000? In other news, in his speech, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell wasn't exactly dovish, but his suggestion that the Fed could live with a more moderate interest rate hike at its mid-December meant sent cryptocurrency prices, not to mention other assets, higher. Recently, the price of Bitcoin reached over $17,000, up 1.4% in the previous day and posting improvements for the third day in a row. The biggest cryptocurrency market cap began to rise on Monday as investors hoped Powell and other Fed officials had found comfort and as economic indicators indicated inflation and the potential for a severe recession. Bitcoin sank below $15,500 2 weeks ago as markets chewed on Genesis Global Capital's decision to halt withdrawals, part of the fallout from the crypto exchange giant FTX implosion. Bitcoin has reached a vital support zone that could lead to a trend reversal. After prices dropped to $20,800, it seems that the market's attitude toward Bitcoin has changed from fear to capitulation. This represents the last stage of a bearish cycle before the market sentiment shifts into hope to signal the beginning of a new bull market. It is still unclear whether Bitcoin will experience a further correction to $15,670 before it enters a consolidation phase before beginning a new upward trend. In any case, the risk-to-reward ratio seems to be in favor of those willing to take a chance on correctly predicting the market bottom. Every time an asset is entangled in a prolonged and serious downturn, people engage in a perennial exercise to try to determine when it might find a floor. They examine the charts, review this or that indicator, and get their checklists out. In the case of Bitcoin, there is currently a lot of such activity, supported by technical indicators that in the past have indicated precisely such a formation. When Bitcoin dips below a moving average or closes below the so-called balanced price measure, which reflects a market price that equals the value paid for coins minus the value ultimately realized. What they can see right now is that a lot of these measures are all flashing similarly, which is unusual. According to analysts, there have only been 6 other similar stretches over the previous 5 years, some of which have fallen during the bear market bottoms, like in November 2018 and March 2020. Will it be different this time though? And that is it for today's video. I hope you found this video informative and helpful. As always, if you did, please show us some love and support by giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. And make sure to keep your notifications on so you will be updated whenever we post new videos on all things related to crypto. This has been Diversified Streams. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you in our next video.